The life and sad ending of Jim Reeves. James Travis Reeves was born on August 20, 1923, was born at home in Galloway, Texas, a small rural community near Carthage. He was the youngest of 8 children born to Mary Beulah Adams Reeves and Thomas Middleton Reeves. He was known as Travis during his childhood years, winning an athletic scholarship to the University of Texas. He enrolled to study speech and drama, but quit after only 6 weeks to work in the shipyards in Houston. Soon he resumed baseball, playing in the semi-professional leagues before contracting with the St. Louis Cardinals farm team during 1944 as a right-handed pitcher. He played for the minor leagues for 3 years before severing his sciatic nerve while pitching, which ended his athletic career. The little things of life made him tired. It accumulated in his eyes, deep down in him personally, as the sadness that is hard to say when. Jim Reeves married Mary White on September 3, 1947. They never had any children, as Jim Reeves was believed to be sterile due to complications from a mumps infection. Along with this boring life, he still has to live, and art has kept him exceptionally calm. With all I know about Jim Reeves, his career is laid out below. Reeves's initial efforts to pursue a baseball career were sporadic, possibly due to his uncertainty as to whether he would be drafted into the military as World War II enveloped the United States. The late 1940s to the early 1950s. He was contracted with a couple of small Texas-based recording companies, but without success. He made some early Mullican-style recordings like Each Beat of My Heart and My Heart's Like a Welcome Mat. He eventually obtained a job as an announcer for KWCAM in Shreveport, Louisiana, then the home of the popular radio program Louisiana Hayride. In 1953, Jim Reeves was a country music singer who had success early on in his career, first with the song Mexican Joe for Abbott Records. Other hits followed, such as I Love You and Bimbo, which reached number 1 on the U.S. country charts in 1954. In 1954, Abbott Records released a 45 single with Bimbo on Side A, which hit top 1 and featured Little Joe Hunt of the Arkansas Walk of Fame. Reeves went on to release his first album in November 1955, Jim Reeves Sings, which proved to be one of Abbott Records' couple album releases. Reeves's star was on the rise because he had already been signed to a 10-year recording contract with RCA Victor by Steve Scholes. Reeves also made his first appearance on ABC TV's Ozark Jubilee in 1955. He was such a hit with the fans that he was invited to act as fill-in host from May through July 1958 on the popular program Ozark Jubilee. From his earliest recordings with RCA Victor, Reeves relied on the loud East Texas style, which was considered standard for country and Western performers of that time. In 1957, Reeves used this new style of recording, a demo song of Lost Love that had originally been intended for a female voice. It was titled 4 Walls, which not only scored number 1 on the country music charts, but scored number 11 on the popular music charts as well. This recording marked his transition from novelty songs to serious country pop music, and according to one source, established Reeves as a country balladeer. 4 Walls and Hell Have to Go defined Reeves's style. Jim Reeves was instrumental in creating a new style of country music that used violins and lusher background arrangements, which soon became known as the Nashville Sound. This new sound was able to cross genres, which made Reeves even more popular as a recording artist. Reeves became known as a crooner because of his light yet rich baritone voice. Because of his vocal style, he was also considered a talented artist because of his versatility in crossing the music charts. He appealed to audiences that weren't necessarily country. His catalog of songs, such as Adios Amigo, Welcome to My World, and Am I Losing You, demonstrated this appeal. Many of his Christmas songs have become perennial favorites, including Christmas, Blue Christmas, and An Old Christmas Card. Between 1957 and 1958, Reeves was the host of a radio show on the ABC network. This was also the time he began shifting from cowboy outfits to sports jackets. With my own efforts, and then reaching the peak of fame, Reeves scored his greatest success with the Joe Allison composition Hell Have to Go, success on both the popular and country music charts, which earned him a platinum record. Released in late 1959, it scored #1 on Billboard magazine's Hot Country Songs chart on February 8, 1960, which is scored for 14 consecutive weeks. In 1963, he released his 12 Songs of Christmas album, which had the well-known songs Christmas and An Old Christmas Card. During the early 1960s, Reeves was more popular in South Africa than Elvis Presley and recorded several albums in the Afrikaans language. In 1963, he toured and starred in a South African film, Kimberly Jim. In the film, he sang part of one song in Afrikaans. He planned to record an album of popular Irish songs and had 3 #1 songs in Ireland during 1963 and 1964, Welcome to My World, I Love You Because, and I Won't Forget You. Reeves had 11 songs in the Irish charts from 1962 to 1967. He recorded 2 Irish ballads, Danny Boy and Maureen. Hell Have to Go was his most popular song there and was at #1 and on the charts for months during 1960. He was one of the most popular recording artists in Ireland, in the first 10 after the Beatles, Elvis, and Cliff Richard. His first success in Norway, Hell Have to Go, scored #1 in the top 10 and scored the chart for 29 weeks. I Love You Because was his greatest success in Norway, scoring #1 during 1964 and scoring on the list for 39 weeks. His album spent 696 weeks in the Norwegian Top 20 chart, making him one of the most popular music artists in the history of Norway. Reeves' last 2 recording sessions for RCA Victor were held July 2, 1964. They produced the songs Make the World Go Away, Missing You, and Is It Really Over? He taped I Can't Stop Loving You in what was to be his final RCA recording. The story ends his life. Jim Reeves is in a plane crash and dies on July 31, 1964, 40 years old. Thousands of people traveled to pay their last respects at his funeral 2 days later. The coffin, draped in flowers from fans, was driven through the streets of Nashville and then to Reeves's final resting place near Carthage, Texas. Although it is indescribable regret, a real picture of the life he will live forever in the hearts of the American people that year and the people of the world in the future.